Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully we're live. I think we're live. Is it looking live on your guys' end?
I'm double checking right now.
Because all my sources are messed up right now. Unfortunately, we're live. Okay, welcome to Decentr Live, the Browse to Earn blockchain series here, part 3 here. And we're joined again by our buddy Rich James. How are you? How are you this week? You can't hear a thing, huh?
No, I'm joking. Good morning, everybody.
You got me on that one.
I just wanted to see if you guys were awake. With my equipment, we never know. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. How are you two today? You are looking good.
Yeah,
thank
fantastic.
You, sir. Thank you.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah. Sorry to anyone that was out there waiting on this episode last night or yesterday, but we have arrived. We are here now. And
true.
Yeah, excited to be back with you.
Yeah, me as well. Yeah, it was just scheduling conflicts yesterday. Everybody could not be avoided. So very glad to be here today, and thanks for everyone, certainly in our community and yours as well, for bearing with us on that one. Couldn't be avoided, but it's going to be even better. We had a little bit of extra time to prepare, didn't we, guys? So it's going to be good.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. So the topic at hand for this episode is partnerships. We're going to talk about the partnerships and what they mean for you, for me, for us, the browser users.
Exactly, and that's why I was impressed with your choice of topic, and I'll tell you why. It's because if we just sit here listing off a menu of partnerships, that's not going to really mean anything to most users. Doesn't really mean anything out of context. Whatever, they're not going to know who they are or what they actually mean to the ecosystem, and of course to users themselves. So I was impressed with your choice of topic for that reason. I think I can handle that. We can put it all into a narrative, and part of the narrative we've been building for at least 2 weeks, right? And this is where it's all been leading to. So unless you have a specific partnership you want to discuss, I could put this in a little bit of context for you and our viewers.
Yeah, I would say I would like to hear, because there's a lot of partnerships on the list, a lot of kind of like popular names, in the space or whatever that can't, have had some successes and stuff. But for me, I'm more interested in how do these partnerships play into the whole ecosystem? Just as what's important, what should I know about these partnerships and how that works for me?
Agreed.
As a browser user.
So what you're actually saying to me is, Rich, can you give us context? Can you give me narrative? I think that's what you're saying.
100%. That's it.
Okay. Well, guess what? I can do a little bit of that.
All right.
A little bit.
Break it down for us, Rich.
Well, that's very kind of you to give me the forum to do so.
Yeah.
I think overall, Decentr, as we've discussed in the past 2 programs, I think past 2 podcasts, we need to just give our elevator pitch, don't we? So we can see where this has been headed. So
yes. So I guess we should back up a little bit and talk about what we've already talked about a little bit, how we got to this.
It's easy. That's what the elevator pitch is for. So if either of you 2 gentlemen want to pitch in, I'm happy to listen to it, as are we all. Elevator pitch. Emmett, shoot.
Well, I did miss episode 1. When I came in on episode 2 here, we got into discussing whether the kind of catchphrase, whether browse to earn or data for dollars, what exactly those things meant with Decentr.
True. They don't mean much. At least they don't mean much in terms of an overall elevator pitch we're trying to sort of resolve. They are more, as you said, they're sort of slogans or catchphrases.
Right.
So I could start you off because I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I guess that's the point of an elevator pitch, right?
Yeah.
I could start us
off.
Do
the elevator music, please.
Yes. Okay. Where is it? I'm waiting. We'll do that post.
No, we can do that right now.
Oh, really?
We are.
Rock and roll. Well,
so Rich, nice to meet you here at this elevator. What floor do you want to go to? Is it the 60th floor? Sure, no problem. Boo boo. So what do you do, sir? Oh, you work for a company named Decentr. That sounds excellent. What do they do? What do you actually do? What is the Decentr browse to earn? What? You're blowing my mind, Rich. What's happening right now?
Good. Well, that would have been the 15th floor, but I'll move on.
15th floor.
The elevator pitch we've been kind of developing over the last 2 weeks actually has a purpose. There is method to my madness, and we're going to find out about that today, right now, actually. So let me lead in with it, and you can always cut me short and ask questions. So Decentr, we know, what is it doing? What is it doing? It is a natively blockchain-aware browser. We got that right. We've been doing that for 2 weeks. And that becomes extremely important today because there are no other browsers that are natively blockchain aware. And if you're not natively blockchain aware, you can't do the integrations that we're going to talk about in a minute. And therefore, you're not going to get the partnerships that we have got. So it's a natively blockchain aware browser built on a chain agnostic blockchain. Chain agnosticism is going to be important in a minute as well. So a natively blockchain aware browser built on a chain agnostic blockchain that, of course, what this means, the net effect is it allows mainstream users to access the blockchain and all the benefits and the security of the blockchain that imparts upon us as users. That's all we do. That's all we do. So chain agnosticism kind of cuts to the heart of partnerships by definition. If it's chain agnostic, we can integrate and of course vice versa. Other chains can integrate with us, and directly into the Decentr ecosystem and transfer value from the different chains, vice versa. That's really what we're doing. So again, the elevator pitch. There was a method in my madness there. Does that appeal to you guys? Because we're going to move on from that in a minute, but it's pretty exciting in that respect.
Definitely. Yeah. And I just would maybe ring in and mention the fact that it's working towards true decentralization you mentioned.
Oh yeah. And that's about to come up because all our partnerships are working for the same damn thing. And that's why it's exciting. Because you've got to understand, maybe 2-3 years ago, when this was just an idea in our minds, maybe 4 years ago, all the technology and partnerships we're talking about right now could not have been achieved then. It was a whole bunch of people coming up with similar goals from different perspectives that we're going to put together as part of these partnerships. And that's what's exciting about it. We couldn't have had this conversation 3 years ago. It wouldn't have meant anything. So that's what I think is quite exciting about it. I'm not saying we can see the future, but you can kind of see where the wind's blowing on this, and that's where we got involved. So let me be more specific, shall I?
Please.
Excellent. So the point is, with all our partnerships, there are many of them, and you can see them all on our Medium, etc., and read about them. The point is, no matter what we talk about, I mean, the goals are the same. Decentr and other chains getting together, communicating frictionlessly, and this allows the various use cases, assets, functionalities, resources, implementations, etc., of the respective ecosystems to be available on the the chains to be all these aspects can be available on the mutual chains, so to speak. So you can port all the features and functions and value cross-chain. That's what we want, and that's why we partnered with. Well, we're going to talk about that now. That's the point. And would that not strike you guys as a very good basis for, let's not call it Web3 because I've been called out on that as a buzzword, for the next internet? Don't you guys think fundamentally, whatever the next internet is, whether it's Web3 or whatever, don't you think it's going to have to be decentralized, or there's no point? Would that be a fair enough comment?
Yeah, that's
broad.
Yes.
Because if it's not, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you continue.
Well, if it's not decentralized, then it's centralized, and that's Web 2 anyway. It's just going to be Same stuff, different day. I think we talked
Another
about that last
iteration
week.
of, yeah.
Yeah, and it's another iteration where third parties control you, and it's going to be even more powerful because it will be under the guise of Web3. No, we've liberated you. We're not controlling you. We've liberated you, and it's just going to be more hot air. And that's why I don't want to play semantics here, but definitions matter, in my opinion.
Right. Yes.
Well, I mean, you can't be a little bit decentralized any more than you can be a little bit impotent. It doesn't mean anything unless we get the definitions right. It's not semantics. Yeah, well, yeah, I know. That's exactly what my doctor told me last week.
Okay.
That was a joke, guys. Yeah,
too much information there, Rich, but I get where you're going with this. Yes.
Yeah, the problem with this program is you guys don't have the symbol clashes ready when I come up with a punchline. Come on.
No, I know. I need to get up. I'll work on those for week 4. So, like, okay. I'm hearing everything you're saying, and then this is like I'm slightly going back to like where I was coming from last week, but I'm gonna adjust it a little bit because last week we talked about grandma and the elevator pitch and like I think that's where this is how I'm going to change it because I was like, I don't know if grandma will understand that elevator pitch. That's where I was at last time. But now I'm thinking grandma's not the issue here. We don't grandma's not important right now. Like what is important, and I'm getting what your enthusiasm is and where you're coming from. It's like the importance right now is we need to get the people that are here in the space to understand what the hell is going on here at Decentr with the decentralized plan, with the chain agnostic, with it being like a blockchain browser that is actually on the blockchain, so these types of things are not yet known to the degree that they need to be or should be yet amongst the people of the space. Once we figure that one out, once we get those people, then I can start worrying about grandma.
Exactly. And I was thinking about that last week because we had that conversation last week. I wanted to make another comment on that. Grandma, right? Grandma is probably benefiting very greatly off the current internet, but she still doesn't know all the sub protocols and doesn't want to know. It's not of interest. It's only the benefits that worry grandma. So we're getting to benefits here. But yeah, grandma is not really going to worry about week 1, week 2, and week 3 of what we're talking about here.
Right. No, it's more.
This is in the space. Yeah, it's in the space. It's in the space. So it's an important distinction to make because our elevator pitch will go right over the heads of probably a majority of people, as it should. It's not up to the public to do our job for us. We have to do that, then deliver very clear and very defined benefits that the public will adopt our tech for. That's our job, not theirs.
Right.
So when I say our job, that's yours and mine because we're in the space.
Right.
And I do respect that. I've got nothing but respect for my clients, viewership, anybody listening today, and the public. They don't want their life to be made harder. They want it to be made easier, and that's our job. So I do agree with you on that one. Yeah,
it's kind of how the majority of us have found ourselves here in this space is for those reasons alone,
Yeah, exactly. So that was just my opening summary.
Beautiful.
What I'd like to go into now is some specific partners.
Yes.
Let's get to the meat, the meat and potatoes of this. I don't know if that's
still, we say that here.
That's cool. Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
Yeah. See? I just said it like an hour ago, I think.
Did you? I don't want to know the context. Okay, leave it alone.
Dinner.
Yeah. I was like, babe, you want meat and potatoes or what are we doing?
Yeah, stick to that story. LA, I don't know, guys. Stick to that story. Okay, where I want to go next with this, back to our family-friendly option here.
Yes.
I want to go to the big one, the big kahuna, which I believe is a North American expression, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yep.
Big kahuna. Well, here it is. I want to go straight to Cosmos IBC. Really exciting. I'll throw this open though. What comes to your guys' mind? Does that create a lot of excitement here, or
I've dabbled in my interest in Cosmos, or but I will always want to learn more.
Yeah, me too. As I say, very deep technical questions. I sort of have to refer you to my CTO and developers, but I want to give you the lay of the land, so to speak, as to where this integration is going, because it is exciting, and it relates to literally everything we've talked about for the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
So pretty cool, right? Let's move it. So let's start with Cosmos. So you got Cosmos IBC. They're the same thing, different dimensions and applications of the same thing. I'm
on the wrong page. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay, great. Yeah.
No. Cosmos IBC. I'm just saying it's all part of the it's all part of the same thing. I'm just going to break them down into two components just to show you where we're coming from with this and how our integration is sort of working with what they're doing, because Cosmos IBC it's relatively new. This is not old tech. So I'll just describe how we got involved with this, and this kind of goes back to Cosmos. I'll break it down to Cosmos first. This kind of goes back to late 2020 for us, and we knew how important this would be to us. So we started integrating Cosmos, and Cosmos is basically its ecosystem. Basically, it's very simple. It has a vision of creating, the way they express it, I've got their quote right here. They want to create the internet of blockchains. So pretty straightforward, right? And you can begin to see not wanting to use a buzzword, but you can begin to see the synergy with what we're doing. We want to create the internet of blockchains. So you can sort of see that synergy. And our relationship with Cosmos was late 2020, and I think that predated IBC by about 4 months. So that's how new the technology is.
Wow.
And we kind of predated anything they were doing with that. Again, we could see where the wind was blowing with this, but I can't see the future. So we are building specifically with Cosmos because it allows us not only have several blockchains, so you can have one being for data storage, others being for transfers, etc., but you can have them seamlessly interacting with each other. So this is kind of what Cosmos is doing. It's this seamless interaction between chains, whether they're yours or somebody else's. It shouldn't matter. I think I was actually watching a video yesterday about this. I think it was IBC, and the way they described it was, if you imagine blockchains being islands, okay? Blockchains being islands, and Cosmos IBC being the invention of navigation and shipping. All of a sudden, value can be traded between these islands. That was his expression. I found that pretty relevant. It's the trading of the value between these islands, so to speak. So I kind of thought that was pretty good. But let's see how we go. So as Cosmos themselves state, I've actually got a quote I was going to read you here. I'm minus my glasses today, so I might have to move in. You're going to get a close up of the top of my hair, if that's okay.
There it is.
Good. So if anybody sees any thinning there, by the way, drop comments below.
Freaking great hair, man. I'm not kidding you.
Well, this was just a stunt to get my hair across, guys. I mean, seriously, we knew that.
Great, man.
But
such good hair.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll read you the quote, because not as interesting as my hair, but it's quite fascinating. The Cosmos themselves, they state, the end goal is to create the internet of blockchains, a network of blockchains able to communicate with each other in a decentralized way. So yeah, nothing particularly prophetic there, but that really does sum up what these guys are doing. And that could literally be our motto as well. So we're getting there. So this is pretty great. And again, we have to stress this. So what we are doing and where we're coming into the space and working with Cosmos IBC, it's all well and good to have all these blockchains talking to each other. How does the public, the mainstream public, access and adopt all of this great trading of value and the chat these blockchains are going to have between themselves? How is the public going to adopt that? That's the technology we're building. You need a Windows for Web3, which is what we're building. In other words, and here we're back to my point. In other words, you need a natively blockchain aware browser to do that. And that's what we're building. Yeah. Without that, the public can't access all this wonderful technology and all this transfer of values. They can't access it in any way. They can't gain any value from this unless they have access to it. And they won't want to. The public just wants the easiest solution, and they want to know what the benefits are. So that's where we're kind of stepping into that equation. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I say, I mean, it's worth taking a bit of time on that one, because unless the public has access to something, they're not going to adopt it. And unless the access is clear as regards the benefits they're going to get from it.
I mean, how the heck were you guys going to do this without them in the first place?
Ah, but you see, you asked a question, which I don't have an answer to. But the point is,
you know, you just started. It was like Field of Dreams style.
We build it and they will come. Be asked vice versa, both ways.
Yes.
Yes. But you don't go into a thing like this that's very innovative and it's a vision. You don't go into it knowing everything, but you sure as hell go into it knowing which way the winds are blowing, in your opinion. It had to be. The next web had to be. It had to be a whole collection of blockchains put together to form the foundation for it. It had to be. We knew that bet. We knew that bet in 2009. Exactly how it was going to form, we didn't know. But did we not, as we've just discussed with our elevator pitch, did we not say we'd also specifically from day one built a chain agnostic blockchain?
Yeah, so we say that.
So in other words, let me put that another way. We were clever enough to keep our damn options open. No matter what was going to be built, we were ready to port value across to that, and vice versa. No matter what was going to be built. And that is genius. That's our CTO, Nikita Anakiv. Everybody in our community knows him, but that was one of his core innovations. I wasn't really focused on that at the time, but he said it has to be chain agnostic, and we win. We win either way. Everybody wins. Chain agnostic, and porting that value across. So IBC, what? It's a relatively recent innovation. We didn't know that. Who could? But certainly that's the way the wind was blowing, and that's why we hooked up with Cosmos about a year and a half ago, etc. So it's a very good question. It's a very good question. But if I'm going to sit here pretending I knew the future, no, I didn't. But we kept our options open. Let's put it that way. Yeah, kind of cool, right? Yeah. And that's why chain
they will come.
Yeah, well, we can go that far, but build it, and let's say build it, and they will integrate.
Okay,
and
that works.
Yeah, that works. Keep our VCs and investors happy on that one. Exactly, but it is a very good question. It's worth spending a bit of time on that, because that is implicit in the elevator pitch that we as a team have been building for the last 2 weeks. So method to my madness, right? Method to my madness. But I'd like to sort of progress from that question. It's a very good question, and basically say that the applications that we do offer, they can be ported across. We know that because Cosmos is going to do that for us. And we just want to get now to, there's Cosmos and then there's IBC. So I'm just going to push this a little bit forward to IBC and have a little bit of a look at that. It's a recent Cosmos development and application. So IBC, what does it stand for, guys? I was talking to a couple of people yesterday, and they told me they thought it stood for inter blockchain. So IBC, which is halfway there. Don't Google it, Emmett. I can hear you tapping, mate.
No, brother, you had it up a second ago when you're on the Cosmos page. I saw it there.
I know, but I'm like, I don't want to blow his bit here.
Yeah, I know. I've been working. I've been working. Hey, I've had an extra 24 hours to work on this, and you've just blown it for me. But I will tell you, it is inter blockchain communication protocol.
Yeah, there it is.
Pretty
up on the
impressive,
screen, right on time, right on cue when he said it, brother. You see that? I was like, bang!
You guys set
Timing.
me up.
Yeah,
that was a setup.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I had to do it. I've been working on that bit for 24 hours. Give me a break. Yeah, no,
we nailed it. We nailed it. We nailed it. Even though Emma tried to throw us off there, we nailed it.
Yeah, no, you threw me off a little bit there, but I'm back on track. So I guess in a nutshell, IBC it's not a lot of difference from the Cosmos aims, obviously, but it's basically it's just a protocol that allows blockchains to talk to each other. That's all it does at its base. That's all it does. So what we can do and what we're using IBC for is, of course, to connect to any blockchains that are built using Cosmos Tendermint, and in that way we can move closer to the concept of the next web or Web3, whatever you want to call it, that we are building, which is pretty much, in again, buzzword, synergy with what these guys are doing anyway. So it's a gift for us, but that works both ways.
Yes.
Works both ways. So the point we have to get back to, again, with what we're doing in conjunction with Cosmos IBC, is that let's put it this way, if IBC allows blockchains to talk to each other, which is their stated mandate, it's what they do very well. If IBC allows blockchains to talk to each other, then our browser and our custom chain allows mainstream users to access and engage with whatever it is these blockchains are talking about. It's as simple as that. We allow mainstream users to access that value and potential, the resources, etc., etc. Because if not, how does the public access this amazing thing that IBC Cosmos is building? How do they access it? They don't really. Maybe in bits and pieces with specific applications and extensions, all this sort of thing. But that doesn't really give me the feeling of the next Web3. It would have to be instinctive. It would have to be easy to do. You download something and the public's on it. They don't care about the tech behind it. It's just what benefits they get out of it.
Right.
So that's what we're here to do. That's what our browser does. That is our stated mandate. Because I guess why that is our stated mandate, and what keeps us awake at night. All this, you cannot have successful technology that isn't mass adopted. It will disappear. Wouldn't it be a shame if blockchain did that?
Disappeared?
Yeah, disappear.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
Yeah, kind of. Well, without mass adoption, I don't want blockchain 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we don't want it to become a footnote in the history of tech development. Without mass adoption, it could be
like Google Glasses.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Basically,
that was a bad idea. No.
And they had the money to promote that as well, I might add.
Right. So, great point.
So yeah.
Not decentralized though. Definitely not decentralized.
Not decentralized. But again, we always get back to, with the decentralized, you always get back to the argument. Decentralization looks like a bad idea to certain investors because they don't see how they're going to realize their value from it without somehow centralizing it.
So yeah, that brings me to a question, if I may.
Yeah, shoot. Please.
Now, does that mean that any of these chains that you are partnering with will then have to be under that same decentralized belief, or like you hear about like Solana and Matic having admin keys and not being fully decentralized and giving up some of the security basically to get away from the high gas fees and things like that. So I'm just wondering then, like, is Decentr able then to connect with those chains as well through this IBC and Cosmos, or do they have to be kind of working towards that fully decentralized protocol?
Well, yes and no. I don't want to sit on the fence here, but yes and no.
Yeah.
I guess overall the point is, I understand that to get something that is 100% decentralized, that's difficult. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be working in that direction. Look, we live in a centralized world. There's going to be a whole lot of centralized aspects of things that will be ported across to any next web we're talking about, or Web3. There are going to be these aspects. I mean, what do you want to do? You want to get rid of the the mainstream monetary system as well, because it's centralized. So there is going to be this idea of you're going to be transferring across to Web3, which is what we want to do with our browser. Every time somebody downloads it and moves over there, their world is becoming more decentralized. The data they're generating is becoming more decentralized without them even knowing it. And the value they get back is becoming more decentralized. What I would say to anybody that wants to partner with us is you want to work in that direction, because it creates more value within the ecosystem that we can all benefit from. Whether that's VCs looking for profits or users looking to realize value from their data. We need to do that. We need to do that as an ecosystem and a society, I would argue as well. So your specific question is, do they have to do that? No. Would we like to provide an environment via IBC and our browser where it is more valuable to them and their users and their investors to work in that direction? Yes. We do, but it has to be proven. You can't tell anybody to do anything. You need to prove why that is a benefit. And I say, the more we say with our tech, and we're proving that now with Deconomics, our token, and the technology, we say the more decentralized things become and the more decentralized data becomes, the more valuable that data is. And we, our system, will return that value to you, the user, the investor, the partner that has integrated with us. That'd be my long answer for that one.
No, so that helped me understand. Yeah, I like that answer.
Awesome, because you don't have to, and it'll be it's a gradual. I mean, let's hope it's exponential and fast. But it could be an incremental, gradual move away from centralization to decentralization, and anybody who downloads our browser has already taken that step without even knowing about it. Knowing about it.
That's the part that gets me right there, is that you're, by kind of taking part in this, that's your first step in working towards the whole ecosystem starting to work.
And I'm glad I'm getting feedback from people saying, that's easy. This is fast. This is good. This is great. You don't even have to know yet just what a contribution you're making. And you don't even have to know yet how much value you're going to get back from that as we move forward with this. As we integrate IBC this, Osmosis that, Cosmos this, you're going to get that value back and you don't even know it yet, but you've already taken that first step. And boy, was that painful? No, it's completely painless. Completely painless. And that's what you have to do. You've got to make it easy for the public, not hard. I mean, we have no more respect for anyone than our users. Make it easy. Make it easy. Make it easy. Join the revolution. Just make that really, really easy. And people will come. People will download it. People will participate. And they will get the value back from that eventually. I mean, they're already getting that value now, but they're going to get more and more value as we integrate more and more chains. And that's going to be ported across all of these chains.
So would you say
win-win.
that Cosmos is like the main partnership that you have? Like, it's the most important one because of some of these, some of the ways that you guys are intertwined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
like Cosmos, how you need each other in a way. Does that? Well, is there? Yeah.
And you said a year and a half too, so it's the relationship's been there
for a long time.
Yeah. I would. I mean, again, we've got to make the distinction. Yeah, it's Cosmos IBC. So the
Cosmos IBC.
All parts of the same system. Cosmos came first.
Every time I hear IBC, I think of root beer. There's a good root beer brand, IBC root beer. If you never had it, pick one up. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get paid by IBC.
I was going to say,
beer.
Yeah, that as a product placement was an
honest plug.
Little bit rough. A little bit of a rough segue there, I must admit. So let's hope we all get a crate of that.
Well, if you've had this root beer, You would think it was a smooth transition because it's so sweet. It's a
Whoa,
good
I
root
like
beer.
it.
But anyway, continue with where we
I
at?
like that. Yeah,
Where we
getting
at?
better.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, I can get off. Get off
that
on
root
some
beer.
stories. But
Yeah,
yeah,
to be
sorry,
honest, yeah, that
Rich.
root. I can't get that root beer out of my mind now either, and it's only 10 a.m. in the morning. It sounds great. So yeah, get us a crate. We'll all have a look at it.
Yeah. We'll ship some over to you. That's a good idea. Yeah, we could all
Yeah.
drink one on week 4.
Yeah, we do love. Yeah, we do.
They look like beers too. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep going. So you got to get me off track here, back onto
not the
Decentr
least I
here.
can do.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
problem. It is my show after all. I should be having a little bit of a firmer hand on
please.
it, right?
Yes.
But yeah, you're making good points. That is a very key. It is. These are obviously key partners of ours, and I bring that up because that's what we're literally doing at the moment. We have integrated IBC.
Yes.
All the other benefits from that are coming now, and it is very, very important to our tech and our goals.
I see. It's like what the roadmap seems to be about right now. Is
it is, and I think you asked a good question. Would that have been what the roadmap was about 3 years ago? No.
Yeah.
Who knows? We didn't all know exactly what tech was going to come up, but being chain agnostic, as we've discussed, we can just we can incorporate anything we need to incorporate. And IBC Cosmos, amazing. Where this is going to go is anybody's guess. But if they've got the integration tools we need, and we've got the browser to give the public mainstream access, well, you can see where this is going. Literally, a Web3 or next web, whatever you want to call it. I can see that right now.
Let's call it badass internet. Instead of Web3, let's go badass internet. Like we'll just call it that.
Because I think Web3, somebody
future of badass internet.
Exactly.
Maybe that's too long, but we'll get it down.
Well, we could use it. We could use it as an acronym. I've not figured it out yet. It's too early in the morning, but we'll use it. Future.
FOBA. FOBA.
FOBA. Okay.
Oh no, I'm just gonna FOBA. No, I, not A. I. Phoebe.
Phoebe. I'll go with it. Phoebe.
All right, I'm getting nutty. I'm sorry. Let's stay on topic here. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, that's about as relevant as Web3, because Web3 different show, but Web3 means so many different things to so many different people. Anybody you ask will have a different definition of it, you know. But all I know, all I think I know, and all I believe is that whatever you want to call it, it's going to have to be decentralized. Otherwise, it's a bust, right? It's just Web 2.
Web
a little bit of dressed up a little bit. Calling it Web 3 to make people feel better about themselves, so you can continue to manipulate them. Centralized companies and what have you, incumbent companies that currently control the net would love to be a part of that. And what we're really trying to do is break that down and give something really new, where it is completely user-centric from the perspective of everything: communications, economics, everything should be user-centric. And to do that, we get back to Cosmos IBC, creating these tools that we can use to integrate technology and put a browser on top of it so the public can access it. You're thinking, Rich, you're sounding like a broken record. Yeah, I've only got one idea. I want the public to be able to access this amazing technology to their benefit and the benefit of society. I've only got one idea, and that's it.
That's the goal. That's the focus. That's what Decentr is doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how much time have we got left? I'm gonna.
We're overtime, so
we're already overtime. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to stop you. You're on a tear right now.
No, I'm on a tear. I just thought I'd bring up a couple of other partnerships, and I'll be brief. I'll be brief. So all of this that we have discussed, great, fantastic, wonderful technology. I think a big reason why a lot of people came here today was figure out, okay, so what does this mean for me? What can I actually do? What do I actually get out of this? And make it easy for me as well. Last week we talked about, so we're not going to go into that in any great depth here. Personal data value we talked about last week, which is one of our DeFi features. It's a decentralized feature whereby it values what your data is worth, and you can apply this personal data value, this PDV, to various of our DeFi products and features, etc. And of course, this can be ported cross-chain in conjunction with IBC Cosmos IBC. So that's cool. That's cool.
It's almost like you're ranking.
I beg your pardon? I'm what?
It's almost like you're ranking in Decentr, in a sense.
Ranking, yeah. I see where you're going with that, and I would slightly veer away from that because it is completely decentralized. Nobody's ranking anything. All data is of relative value in a decentralized system to all other data. It's relative.
Gotcha.
So there isn't a ranking. I mean, you see, you're probably thinking along the lines of like reputation scores, that kind of thing.
Or just trying to relate it to something that someone coming into the space could kind of put it in their head as,
Well, I see where you're coming from. It is really just a way to value the data you use relative to all other data value.
Right.
I realize that it is a new concept and it is completely decentralized, so it doesn't have a great deal of precedent. So that one, I guess we're going to have to. It's a lot of what I do, educating people about that. But again, if we take that back to grandma, do you think grandma really cares when she comes to point of sale and wants to buy something and it's 20% cheaper? No. That's what PDV means. You can apply it at point of sale to get stuff cheaper because your data is worth that, and we valued it. Exactly how that happens, does anybody care at that point? It becomes a sub protocol of Web3 or the next internet, or phobia as we've now called it. I see a lot of this as becoming really sub protocols that nobody has to worry about. They just know that stuff's going to be cheaper because of the data they're generating. Now, remember, there will come a point at which a lot of people think, well, if it's that much cheaper, what can I do to make it cheaper still? And then they will pick up on the tools, the features and functions we've got, whereby you can actually make your data value worth more by doing all sorts of things. That's how we see the next web going, really. It's a system whereby data is going to continue to be refined through user interaction. At the moment, I mean, what's Web 2? It's an entropically degraded mess of more and more data that becomes more and more confusing. Even AI can't find signals from noise in the current mess we have with data. This idea of transferring to Web 3 or the next web, or phobia, is the idea that users will continue to refine their data as we make that transfer from Web 2 to Web 3. That's part of our vision there as well, and we're giving the tools to do that. And if there's an economic motivation to do that, guess what? People get real clever.
Yeah, that's when this starts to scale.
Yeah, and that's what we want. Correct motivation, get on with it. If you want to do that, be fantastic, and that value comes back to you. So I hope that more or less answered your question there. I was just going to quickly before we have to leave. The question is, how do we get that? How do we get that money? PDV is one of those things. We discussed that last week. The other most obvious one is simply to sell your data in a marketplace. Centralized marketplace, well, decentralized to an extent. Sell that in a data marketplace, and that's why we got our partnership with Ocean Protocol. You guys familiar with them?
Definitely heard of them.
Yeah, Ocean Protocol. They're pretty much they're kind of market leading, so to speak. It's basically just a data marketplace that we formed a strategic and technical partnership with that will integrate Ocean Protocol into our ecosystem. And all this means is that users will be able to opt in if they choose and sell certain data sets just by way of a URL that will be put on sale on the Ocean Market, is what they call it, Ocean Market. And you can just sell that outright, and you'll get paid in DEC. Simple as that.
Crazy.
Straight up sale. So again, is data marketplaces, is that where the future is? Nobody really knows, but we want to keep all our options open on behalf of our users to make sure they can maximize the value they can get from their data in a way that they so choose. So we're building the future together.
A whole new world. This is
Whole
nuts.
new world, and
Yeah.
it better be decentralized. It better be decentralized. With God as my witness, it will be. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums up. We've got a lot more partnerships than that, but that would be in the descending order of relevance and importance as we are developing now.
Got you. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Is Ocean, is that on Dot? Was that built on Dot?
Pass on the technical details at the moment, but I will take that question to Nikita, my CTO.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but I think so. I think that's, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I can't remember why it's come across my head a few times, but yeah, it's popped up a few times.
Okay. Yeah, all these connections, all these interconnected ideas, they're all out there.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer to that question at the moment, but I will ask Nikita and get back to you.
No problem at all. Yeah, very cool.
But that's the overall concept we have, and literally that's where we are at this minute. We've got a lot of other exciting partnerships as well, but we need to. But as I've said, all of them will rely on Cosmos IBC, because that's the easiest way to integrate all these other partnerships to a large extent. There are exceptions, but this is a pretty exciting way to do it that is new and extremely exciting for us, because it really hits the nail on the head as regards what we want to do. So could not be a better integration collaboration for us. Could not be.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds really exciting, and like, the synergy is there. It's you guys need each other and vice versa, and it's super cool to see the tech plug into each other. It's cool.
And you're quite right there. As I've always said, I think I've said that across the past two programs we've had, no one is going to build this on their own. It's not like that. We're past the days of 27-year-old Harvard dropouts coming up with something that gains mass adoption. That's gone. We've all got better plans than that, and that's why we all have to collaborate and communicate. And the fact that Cosmos IBC is a collaboration and communication tool between blockchains, gift for us, and really intercompatible with what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, super cool. I mean, we can, get into more of these the partnerships in the, down the line in the week 4
absolutely.
or whatnot. We can come back around to some of this stuff too. But it's been really exciting to go week to week and get a little piece and soak that in my head, and then each week you're freaking me out with a new piece, which is awesome.
Good. That's what I want to do, because there's a lot of weird stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff here without a lot of precedent that we need to keep pushing, because it's kind of weird. But that's what happens. All I can say, really, if it's weirding you out, all I can say is this.
No, in a good way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Positive,
I'm just saying in a good way. But the reason for that is because true decentralization, not just using it as a buzzword, true decentralization does strange things. It does strange things that appear to be counterintuitive, not only in social, socioeconomic terms, but also in, I would argue, in social evolution terms, and possibly even in evolutionary terms. We only understand centralization because we think that's all there is. True decentralization is strange. And we've seen that in our algorithms. We've seen that in our research. We're now seeing that as we put our products out there. It's strange. And it's as strange to you as it is to me. And we just got to keep working on that, because it's strange, but liberating.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's odd, but that's why I'm very grateful to have this forum to discuss this, and you guys really give me quite a lot of scope, even though it's a bit weird. Yeah, it's a bit weird.
No, that was pretty rad to run through those couple partnerships quickly, and it just seems like the aligning of the space coming together towards reaching that goal. Towards true decentralization. And I've seen these names and heard these names of these protocols, Ocean, and I've but I'm now starting to understand what they're working on, what position or what parts of working towards this decentralization they're going to play, and it's pretty rad to start to see that.
Yeah, and it is great. And as I say, if you can write it on my tombstone, if I'm the person that gives the mainstream public access to that is what I want. That's all I've ever wanted. That's what we're here to do. Give the public mainstream access to that, so blockchain becomes mass adopted sooner rather than later as part of Phoebe, Web3, next internet. We have to do that. I don't know what we're waiting for.
Well, it's funny because the mentality, I feel like, is you hear decentralization like more like project specific or something, when really the goal is the overall space, the whole base layer, reaching that, you know. So
but you make a good point. So project specific decentralization, that's an oxymoron, right? Or as far as I can tell, that doesn't make any sense unless you're talking about private chains, which aren't really
they're not
decentralized either.
It's like you hear kind of these buzzwords popping up, and whether they're working on it, really working on towards it or not, you have to do your own research. But I've definitely come across that a lot in the space.
Well, us too. That's the point. That's why, again, Cosmos IBC is not that. We are not that. So you combine those forces, and I think we're getting there, guys. We are getting there. This next generation internet, whatever you want to call it, I see it now. I only saw it through the fog 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't know exactly what direction it would take. With IBC Cosmos and what we're building, I actually see it now. I think I do.
Awesome.
So that's exciting, and that gets me out of bed in the morning. So yeah, amazing stuff.
Well, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you into the blockchain decentralized sun. So let's lead me there, brother.
I'm doing it. Sounds
sir. Great.
I'm on it now. Now, can I just say one more? I know we got to go. Can I say one more thing? Next week we do not have a show idea. It is a wild card.
That's fine. I think I've got a bunch of questions.
Oh no,
I'm waiting for the wild card episode. So
okay, the wild card episode. So that's something I can't prepare for. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
All things go.
Yeah, well, that will be a car crash podcast we're looking at next week. Maybe that can be the title.
I like it.
But yeah, anybody who wants to make suggestions, comments, questions, because I think I personally, in the last 3 shows, I've covered a lot. I could talk for another 100 hours on every aspect of those shows. I don't think there's a real public demand for that at the moment.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I think next week, what I would like to do is, I've been on the browser now for 3 weeks, right? And it'll be a month by then. By the time we get to week 4. And I'd like to see what can I see about my data? Like, how do I get to that stuff? Because I haven't gone looking in under the hood or to see like what's happening right now. What sort of data I'm collecting.
So do you think, from that perspective, do you think, depending on where you want to go with that, do you think we should try and get somebody, as well as my good self, but get somebody on who is more tech oriented?
Okay. Yeah.
Great, because
I'm curious, when I go onto the browser, I go up to the top, right, and I see I got the little button up here I can click on, and it shows me, but I want to know, I want to see the information,
so under the hood,
under the hood. We'll look under the hood a little bit.
Hey, yeah, maybe that
tech guy out here.
So you think Decentr under the hood for next week's show? I quite like.
All right, I like this. I like that. Okay,
I like it. Yeah, we'll leave my grandiose concepts aside for a bit and take a little bit of a look under the hood. Is that what you guys want? Comments below, of course. But
we'll go comments. Yeah, we can get into. Yeah, well, it's a free for all.
Like it. Free for all. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
The
there we go.
Decentr. Wait, what is? There's plenty of titles we've just come up with here. I'm
I
excited
think
by them all.
Decentr, under the hood.
Under the hood.
Under the hood. Because that's kind
Under
of cool,
the hood,
right?
downtown. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's good.
Sounds a little bit street to me. A little bit street. I like it. I like it.
Street
Because
sells. The street
yeah,
sells.
We're missing. Yeah, I think we're missing. I think we're missing a bit of a. Apart from my good self, of course, we're missing a bit of a cool quotient to Decentr. Under the hood, I like it already.
I like it too.
Under the hood, maybe in the hood. In the hood, I believe is local.
Decentr hood. This is getting weird.
It's local LA parlance. I watch movies. It's local LA parlance.
Yeah, we're here in LA, so it makes sense.
Rock and roll. There we are. There we are.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, I feel like I've taken way too much of your time.
No, it's been great. It's been another great chat, and we'll pick it up again next week.
Yeah, so I look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You guys get some rest. Yeah, get some rest.
Yeah, we'll do. I'm gonna take us out with a little rock and roll.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And
thank you, community. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, everybody. Do your thing, like and subscribe. Listen to the rock and roll. Try the Decentr browser. Do that. Try that.
Right.